which is so much better than where you could ever desire to go. And I did that. I asked the Lord to become the center, and everything started to change. You know, I put my music on the altar. He didn't take it right away. Sometimes, you know, he doesn't tell you to drop everything. Sometimes he tells you, go back home and tell everybody what the Lord's done for you. A year later, he told me to lay it down. And it was like the best thing that ever happened in my life. Jeff, when Jesus said to the guys, come follow me, he didn't follow that up with, okay, here's what that means, guys. Every Tuesday night at 7 p.m., we'll meet in room 107 in the synagogue, unless the youth are using it. You know, you can't be a disciple with a once-a-week relationship with the master. You know, a disciple is someone who comes under the discipline of a master, which means you have to be mentored by the master, which means you have to spend just every day with the master. You got to live with the master. And this was something common to other rabbis who took on disciples, and even Greek philosophers who took on disciples. You know, you live with the guy. What's different, though, is that Jesus is called the way, the truth, and the life for a reason. He's not just the way to the Father. He leads us on the way to the Father. He literally led those guys out on the way. Same word, way and road in Greek, right? Olos. He led them on the road, and that's something different. Other rabbis didn't quite do that. He was urgent about bringing the message of the kingdom all over this country. So they actually literally followed him, left everything behind, and went out on the road.
And when he says, I want you to be with me, it's not just for the sake of learning doctrines and theology, which are important, but it's to become like him. And you have to live in such proximity that he can correct you, that he can observe you, that he can listen to what you're saying and say to you privately, listen, I want to reveal some truth to you. I want to reveal the way to you. And I think that sometimes we miss it today, and we think it's just about learning, you know, theology and so forth, which is important. But it's really about transformation, and it's about relationship. It's like my wife Emily and myself, we've been married 41 years now. I know her voice, I know her ways, and only for one reason. Marcelino, I have spent massive amounts of time with my wife. And I know her really, really well, better than most. And the thing that our hearts are crying out for with intimacy with God will only come by spending massive amounts of time with him. And that's what discipleship's about.
And you know where people are spending massive amounts of time these days, and this goes for committed Catholics, is media. We're ingesting 8 hours of media a day. Now, it's the media that's discipling people in our world, in our country. You cannot become a disciple of Jesus with 8 hours of the world being pumped into you and praying before you go to bed at night and going to church on Sunday. It's not going to work. And that's why Paul says pray always. We got to kind of turn down the amount of noise, the reverse discipling, you know, the undiscipling that's being projected to us by the media. And we've got to listen more to Scripture. We got to read Scripture more. You don't eat just once a day, at least most people don't. And you can't just read Scripture, certainly not once a week, but even not once a day. You gotta touch base with the Master and listen to his voice several times a day at least, if you're gonna be able to learn and grow and be transformed.
One of the greatest examples of that, the Blessed Virgin Mary, when she said yes, the fiat, it also meant no to a lot of other things. The yes that we give Jesus as his disciples means that there are some things we're going to have to cut out of our life now, because our life has been radically reoriented. And that's a challenge to me, especially in this modern world, but it's a challenge I want to take, I want to grow, and I really, really want to become more like him.